Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. As you can tell, I have no makeup on and feel a little naked right now, but we were in Dallas for the weekend. We were at a friend's wedding. Congratulations, guys. And we got to stop at the Miss A store on the way back into Houston. I was so excited because if you guys have seen some of my previous videos, I'll be linking them up here in the little eye if you're interested. I love that website so much. Everything on the Miss A website is $1, including their own line of makeup brushes. And so today, that is what we will be testing out. Since I was in the Miss A store, I was able to grab a whole bunch of brushes that I haven't been able to find in stock online. So today, we're doing a full face of makeup using only $1 makeup brushes. So I'm going to put my makeup on like I normally do. So like my primer, I use my fingers. My brows, I'm just going to do it with a pencil like I always do. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. I'm just using the brushes for the things that I would normally use other tools for. So I guess I'm just going to do this the way I would do it on a sponge and just squirt this on the AOA Studio High Def brush. This is the F4. It's one of their kabukis, and it's very soft. So I give them a lot of credit for that because sometimes cheaper brushes tend to be a little more rough, you know, on your skin. And it is pretty dense, so I'm hoping that this does a good job. So let's go ahead and just pump out a little bit on the brush and just start like dotting it on my face. And then I'm gonna stipple it and then blend it. And again, if you guys have seen some of my previous videos where I talk about, you know, brushes and sponges and things like that, you'll know that like I am really not, I don't know what it is about brushes, but I'm just not a fan of brushes on my face, like with my foundation and stuff. But I mean, so far this actually looks pretty good. It's not streaky. It's not quite like the coverage that I wanted off the bat, but that's okay. Still looking okay. Still looking pretty decent. Okay, so far so good. I actually really didn't mind this brush. I think it could be a little more dense and maybe just like a little bit wider. On the parts of my face where my skin is looking really good, I think it did an amazing job. But the places here, like where I do have some blemishes, and I'm glad I'm filming this while I have these so it's a really good test, I felt like it didn't cover them that well, like especially this one here on my chin. It kind of went over it and then the product went around it, but it never sat on top of it, if that makes sense. So, you know, as far as that didn't work so well. But, you know, looking in the mirror and at the rest of my face, it doesn't look half bad. I normally do use a brush for my concealer, so I tried to pick one that was very similar. And this is the AOA Studio F5 High Def brush. And this one here is like a tapered kabuki, so it comes to a point, and that's why I like it for concealer. So we'll see how this one does. Let's give it a shot. I don't know if it's because of like the shape of this brush, so the bristles are a little different, or what, but this one's definitely like not as soft as the first one. You know, and your under eye area is very delicate, so I'm kind of not enjoying patting this under my eyes. Like, it's not very comfortable. Okay, so foundation brush good, concealer brush no bueno. This, like, I don't know, I haven't seen my concealer look this bad in a long time. And what this is doing now is this is picking up my foundation because it's so rough, and it's taking it off my face. So now I have all these like red patches where it took the foundation off my face, and you know, basically the concealer at this point didn't really do anything. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try out this AOA Studio F20 for the powder. I'm a little concerned because already off the bat, like, it's fluffy but not super fluffy like I like my powder brushes to be. So we'll see. We'll just tap this in like I normally would. Let's go ahead and set. Another plus for this one is it's really, really soft. So it's not that dense, it's not that fluffy. Like I said, it could be a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, but it is soft. It feels good on your skin and does not feel anything like the F5. Alright, next up, let's try to contour a little bit. This is the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster in Matte Sculpting. I'm going to try to use the shade here in the middle and use an AOA Studio F14, so a nice little soft angled brush, and lightly tap in and then just go to town, I guess. So yeah, I actually really am enjoying this F14. It's dense but not so dense that you're getting a really harsh contour, and for me, I like that because my skin is so pale. I prefer to have a little more like diffused kind of contour, and I really like how this looks. It doesn't look muddy on me or anything. I think this one's a win. Alright, next let's do some blush and bronzer. So I have two of the same brush here. I have two F12s. These ones actually look a little fluffier, I think, than the F20. So we'll see how this does. I probably should have used this on my powder, but I really wanted to try these for blush and bronzer because they were the same size. Oops. I guess let's do bronzer first. So this is my Urban Decay Naked Streak palette here. One of my favorites. Let's just go in with the bronzer and just warm up the skin a little bit more. Okay, clearly I need to be investing in F12s and not the one that I use for my powder because this is working so much better than that did. This is a beautiful bronze. I am liking this. Let's try the other F12 in the blush and see how it does. So right here, where I would normally put my blush, is where my foundation kind of came off a little bit when I used this F5 here. So let's see how this does on top of that, because I can already see it's super patchy looking. So okay, I like this for blush too. It didn't actually, it ran over these patches, like these little patchy bits, really nice. It actually kind of helped disguise it a little bit with the blush. It didn't cling to it or anything. Yeah, this F12, man, this is a win. Okay, so this is the F11. I wasn't testing this one today because I kind of just felt like it was a little too much, but I guess we can. I'm just going to use this like I would my normal fan brush and do my highlight with it. I'm using the AOA Studio Wonder Baked Highlighter in Snow. I've used this a couple times before and I already really like it. It looks white, like in the pan, but it has like this really pretty pink duochrome flip. It looks so good on fair skin. Whew, so let's go for it, I guess. Let's just run this giant brush in this and see what happens. So I did this on, I went down the bridge of my nose and I went over here on like my Cupid's bow. This just moved around a bunch of my concealer and my foundation. So now it's super, super patchy on my nose and my upper lip here, where it looks like You know when you have really sunburnt skin and try to put makeup on and it just looks kind of flaky? That's what this looks like, except my skin isn't dry. Just looks really, really bad. But, you know, for around here, like this half moon around your eye, I think this is great. But for your nose and your Cupid's bow, I would probably use the little one because this just big time like messed up my foundation. I really quickly did my brows off camera. They are not beautiful or perfect by any means, but brows are not what we're testing today. Next are the eye brushes. Now, this is where I kind of feel like their collection's lacking a little bit because they don't have a huge variety of eyeshadow brushes yet. And the ones they do have, they don't have a lot of blending brushes. So we're gonna have to experiment a little bit and have some fun. But since we used so much other peachy products beforehand, I went ahead and just pulled out the Carity Just Peachy palette because I did like this one. I felt like it blended really well and I thought this would be a good one to give it a shot. So I guess, I really don't know. Okay, this is the F19. This is way too big for your eyes normally, but like I said, we're gonna have to experiment and just kind of make this work. So I'm gonna take the lightest shade here in this palette called Freshly Picked, and it's this one right here, and go ahead and just tap this all over the lid and up to the brow bone. We don't really have any crease brushes, so we're gonna try this one again, this poor little F19, and go with Atlanta here. I'm just gonna take it on like the very tip of this and try to blend this into my crease. Okay, so this little face brush did pretty well on, you know, these base shades and this main crease shade. Now, to get a little more precise, I've got two options. I think I'm gonna go with this high def brush E105. It's kind of like, it kind of worries me because it's like the little version of this F5 that I didn't like already. And it feels just as like stiff and I don't know, just not as fluffy and soft as the others, but we'll go ahead and give it a shot. I guess next let's go into organic here in the middle. Try not to take too much and try to deepen up the crease. Trying to buff out this deeper shade is kind of tough because it's not very fluffy, so there's not a whole lot of blending you can do. But it's not as tough as I thought it would be. It's pretty soft, you know, so I wasn't entirely wrong about it, but I also wasn't entirely correct. Alright, let's try a shimmer shade now, and I'm going to try it with the E112. This is, it's not like a blending brush, like a crease brush. It's fluffy, but like small, not that fluffy. It's a smaller fluffy brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. I'm going to try this one here called Sliced Up. It's like a shimmery dark brown. And just start working this in the outer corner. This one's not bad either. I don't feel like it's as fluffy as it should be. Like it doesn't have a great range of movement either, so you know when you're trying to blend it just kind of wiggles back and forth. It doesn't, you know, fluff out and blend your color around. But you know, again, it's not bad. It's also soft. I can see having like a couple of these in my collection and being able to do some pretty nice stuff with them. They don't have a lot of great shader or flat options that aren't angled, so, you know, like an eyeliner or a brow brush. So I'm going to go ahead and try this E123. It's sort of rounded, sort of flat. I don't know. We're going to try this E123 with this color up here called Totally Sweet. This is a really pretty, like, bronzy orange. And I'm just going to do this all over this inner half of the lid. Now let's see if it works. Because I feel like these ones are like way too stiff, but... oh, it's not coming out like as pigmented as it probably should, but it is depositing the color pretty well. Alright, let's try this brush wet now too and see what happens. This is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Just give it like 2 quick spritzes, and now I'm going to run it back into this color and see how it comes out. Oh, it's a little better. Okay, I can't tell if I just don't like this color or if I don't like the brush, but I think it's the brush. Like, it just keeps lifting. If I try to build the color, it just lifts what's already on my lid off and just leaves like this really ugly blank spot, and it's really patchy. You know, I've used all of these shades before. I like this palette. That's why I chose it too. I don't think we like this E123. Okay, and for the lower lash line, I only really have one brush option. This is the E124. And I think I'm just going to take this darkest shade here called Fruity and just kind of gently run this under the lower lash line just to give it a little more depth. Let's see what happens. Okay, and I think, yes I do. I have one more E124, and I'm going to go ahead and just take this lightest shade in the palette called Glow Up and do this in the inner corner and right down this inner part of the lower lash line. Alright, this E124 is not so bad for this inner corner bit here. This does a really good job there. I think this looks a lot better now. And lastly, let me go ahead and put on a quick coat of mascara, and I'll be right back with you guys. There actually is another Miss A High Def brush launch in a couple of days. I think it's actually the day this video is going up. So be on the lookout. There may be another brush video in the future, but overall I think for $1, you know, if you're just building up your makeup brush kit or you're looking for some filler brushes, you know, things you might not have, brushes you want to test out, most of these are honestly pretty good. You know, those couple that I didn't like, I really didn't like, so buyer beware. But for the most part, you can't really go wrong with these $1 brushes, so it doesn't hurt to give them a shot. It's $1. Thank you guys again so much for joining me, and like always, if you want to see more videos, we gotta keep growing, and the only way to do that is to hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to give these videos a big thumbs up. I hope you guys are having an amazing week, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye guys!